Hey guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, or welcome if you are new here. Today we are doing something stupid. It is in fact time for another 24-hour reading challenge. I have not done one of these since I did my 21 books in 21 hours video last June. So boy has it been a while. To be honest, that video kind of put me off filming them for a while. That was really difficult and really stressful. So this is definitely going to be a much more chilled 24-hour challenge. I want it to be fun. I want it to just be a way to boost my Goodreads goal. I did ask you guys over on Twitter whether you wanted to see a themed one or a just read whatever, and just read whatever won by an absolute landslide, but that kind of gave me an idea. I'm gonna let Bookstagram decide this entire 24 hours. What I read, how I read it, when I can take breaks, when I can go to bed, if I can go to bed, if I can have snacks, whether I can DNF a book. It's all being decided by you guys over on Bookstagram. If you want to get involved in these in the future, if you really enjoy it and you want to take part in another one, I'm sure we can probably film another one, and you guys can go and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter so you don't miss out on things like this. I do like to do a lot of interactive things like this. It's like the one part of being on YouTube over other platforms that I don't love, is like I feel like I don't have that interaction with you guys that I'm craving, so I feel like this is a solid way around it. So I'm aiming for 3 to 4 books in the next 24 hours. By my previous 24-hour challenge videos, that is not a lot, but as I said, I really want to enjoy the challenge this time. 3 to 4 books is what I've been reading in entire months this year so far, so to do it in a day, I think a month's worth of reading in a day is obviously very impressive. So just in general, my reading pace has massively slowed down, so I'm adjusting my goals to reflect that. The challenge will start at 9:30. It is currently 8:53. I have already posted the first question because I want to give people, time to actually vote. I don't have a massive following that I'll get like instant responses, So the first one was, should I read an ebook or a physical book? Physical book is currently winning by 100%. I was hoping ebook would win because I have a clear choice of what book I would read on ebook, but I have no idea what I'm going to read as a physical book. I guess you guys will have to decide that too. If you like the sound of this video, you want to see more, I do have a whole playlist called Doing Something Stupid, which is my 24-hour challenges and me being stupid, and as you can probably tell by the title. So you can go and check those out, and if you want to stick around and see more, then you can hit that big red subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future content. If this video does well and people are enjoying it and the next 24 hours aren't a horrific experience for me, I'll be very happy to be like back on my 24-hour challenge like bandwagon. Let's get back into the challenges. I'm gonna go and get some breakfast and prepare myself for what the next 24 hours has in store, and I will see you at 9:30. So it is 9:30 in the morning. I asked over on Instagram if it should be a physical book or an ebook. You guys chose physical book, and then out of the 2 options that I gave you, you guys said that I should read Gallant by VE Schwab. This is a nice, short, easy start. It's VE Schwab, so I'm sure I'll fly through it. You guys have been really nice to me with this pick, and I actually think that this is going to get me off like on the right foot. I've got some 90 Day Fiancé in the background, which is probably a bad idea because shit has just hit the absolute fan, so how am I supposed to read when there's all this drama in the background? I don't know, but yeah, I'm going into this today. Let's get started. I will update you when I have some thoughts. I am obsessed with this book. I will be giving this a 5 stars for sure. It's stunning underneath the dust jacket, but also it's really good. Like, VE Schwab is back at it. Like, my last VE Schwab experience was A Gathering of Shadows, which I gave 2 stars, but clearly that was just a fluke because this book is just stunningly written, and like I like to categorize my books by like when I would read them, ideally. But this one, the daytime scenes, I'm like, yeah, like this is a perfect spring read. Like the sun is shining through the window today. I'm like, yeah, it's time for spring. But then you get the night scenes and they're so creepy and eerie that it's like, oh my god, I wish I was reading this in October. Like she's got this balance between like beautiful, natural, lyrical writing and creepy, eerie, set you on edge, what is this mystery that's going on. Like she's got it so well and love this book so much. So it's about 11:30 and I need a caffeine break. I am crashing a little bit. I'm obviously reading a lot slower than I would normally in these challenges. Normally for 2 hours in I would have finished a book, and I'm only halfway through Gallant. I will say it's a bigger book than it looks, but yes, I'm slumping a little bit, so I'm gonna have a little caffeine break and then we're gonna get back to a 5-star read. Thank you guys for choosing this. You have been nice to me so far. I've put up the next question, which is, when I finish this book, do you want me to take a break or jump straight into book 2? So we'll see what you guys say by the time I finish this book, and yeah, let's go. Right, it is 1:20, but I have finally finished Gallant by VE Schwab, if I can get the book the right way around. I'm going to give this a 4.5 stars. I loved my experience of reading this book. It is unlike any book I've ever read before. I highly recommend you pick it up. It follows our main character, Olivia Pryor, and she is an orphan living in an orphan household. A mysterious letter turns up one day telling her to come home to Gallant. And so she goes to Gallant, but she realizes that not everything is exactly as it seems, and the person who supposedly sent the letter has been dead for a very long time. So how was she welcomed into this household? And it is very VE Schwab, blurring the lines of reality and magic and creepiness. I loved everything about this book, except for the ending. To me was a little bit anticlimactic. I was expecting a bigger resolution to this big mystery, and it was very fun. This is a much bigger book than it looks. This feels almost like a full-size fantasy. It just looks pocket-sized. Do not be deceived like I was. Something about the ending to me just wasn't 5 stars. It didn't continue on that train for me. So solid 4.5 stars, but a fantastic start. Thank you, Bookstagram, for choosing that start. Now, the options for the next book are Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and Girl, Serpent, Thorn. So that is what we're currently waiting on the results of. And I also asked if I should take a break after this book or go straight on to book 2. Currently, Take a Break is winning, but it's 60-40. I'm gonna take a little one, mostly because my mum is really getting on my nerves and is purposely making a load of noise in the background because she knows I'm filming today. And I've got a load of snacks. I've got a Diet Coke, a mini eggs bar, some Twix bars, some packets of Skips. I am being so unhealthy today, and I'm gonna just read and snack out and jump into the next book whenever there is a pretty clear winner. So that's the plan now. As I said, it's about 1:30. I'm so far behind schedule. It should not have taken me 4 hours to read this book, but as I said, living at home doing a 24-hour challenge is not the one. So hopefully I can pick up the pace. I can speed up a little bit. I think because I wanted to enjoy this book so much that I really took it slowly so that I would enjoy it. So maybe I'll speed up a little bit for the next books. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm normally so much better at 24-hour challenges, but I'm struggling today. It's fine. We've got loads of time. I don't just have daylight time. I have through until 2 in the morning or whenever you guys tell me I can go to bed. I don't need to be stressing. It's fine. Note to self, post the polls a lot earlier. I think I finished Gallant just before I was expecting to, or I just got too wrapped up in it, I think, because I really want to keep going. Like, I feel like I've been waiting for too long, but there isn't a clear winner yet. Like, Dani Brown has taken quite the lead. It's about 70-30 right now in favour of Dani Brown, but don't know, I feel like Girl Serpent Thorn could come back, because like looking back at the old poll that is still up, Gallant is still in the lead, like Gallant is still winning, so good job that I read that one. But Girl Serpent Thorn did come back with quite a few votes, so I have to wait for a bit. Yeah, note to self, post the polls quite a while before I actually want to do them, because I'm just like sitting here, I don't know what to do with myself. I want to pick up another book, but I want to read. Take a hint, Dani Brown has gotten quite the traction, I don't know, it's winning by quite a bit now, so we're gonna read that one. What is the time? Something, give me time. It is 10-2, so I am starting Take a Hint, Dani Brown at 10-2. Let's see how long it takes me. Because I'm reading it on my Kindle, it could make my pace slower, it could make my pace faster. I don't actually know the size of the book because it's, you know, like in Kindle form, so I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't normally read Kindle books for 24-hour challenges, but let's go. Apologies for disturbing you all. I'm only 2% in, like I've read less than 2 pages. This is a pointless, stupid update, but already I like Dani Brown a hell of a lot more than Chloe Brown. She's just got this, like, the same kind of sense of humour as me, like, kind of, like, a little bit dry, a little bit TMI, like, a lot of, like, making fun of herself. I'm liking her a lot more. She's a lot bolder, she's a lot more confident. She actually kind of acts like a grown-up woman. I like her a lot more. I mean, we'll see how her romance goes, because if it's another walking red flag like Chloe Brown, then I'm out. So far, I like this one more. I know a lot of people don't like Chloe Brown and have doubts going forward. I was one of these people. So far, I'm liking it at the 2% mark. I am 25% into this book, a quarter of the way through. This is, you know, it's good. I'm having a fun time with it. We're just getting into the fake dating now. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this. It's definitely more enjoyable than Chloe Brown. I like the characters a hell of a lot more in this, and I love fake dating, so it's off to a much better start than the first book. But there is like talks of anxiety and like loss of close relatives and things, so the book does deal with some heavier topics, which is not really what I signed up for, and the talking about anxiety is making me feel anxious, which I don't need. I mean, I'm gonna keep going, but yeah, it's not my favourite thing in the world. 61% into this book, and we have hit a snag in that I am bored. But I'm not bored of this book, I'm just bored of reading. And again, like, my pace is just painfully slow. I don't know how I ever did like whole series in one night. Like, I don't know what the hell is happening, but I cannot read very quickly today. But yes, I am bored of reading. It is pretty much 5 o'clock on the dot, and I have finished Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I liked this one a hell of a lot more. Dani Brown is a way more interesting character than her sister Chloe. The relationship she has in this book, there's just not a red flag in sight. They are both just walking green flags. Like, yes, they have past things that they need to work through and are scary, but there's nothing where I was like, yeah, this relationship wouldn't work out, like, I'm concerned. It was all just green flags all the way. So a lot of the issues that I had with the ending of Get a Life Chloe Brown don't have with Take a Hint Dani Brown. Like, this was just, it was good. It was good, solid fun. I really enjoyed their jokey banter. I enjoyed how sexual their conversation was all the time, just like joking back and forth. It just felt like a very realistic adult relationship. There was like conflict, but nothing like major. Sometimes romance books can go like way too hard on the conflict, and then it's just a bit like, maybe you shouldn't be together after that. But this one was not like that. I really enjoyed it. It's not as good as The Love Hypothesis though, and I gave that 4 stars, so I will be giving this book 3 stars. But I did really enjoy it. Just like, you know, not gonna be, it's not like a favorite book of all time for me, but I feel like it's a good solid fake dating. I would go back to it if I really wanted to like reread a fake dating book, but I just feel like I didn't connect with the characters as much as I wanted to. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved them and they were a lot more entertaining than Get a Life Chloe Brown. Like, I don't know, there's just something about this book where I'm like, yes, it was a 3 stars, more so than like anything else. I like this one a hell of a lot more than the first one though. I do really recommend trying this book, even if you didn't like the first one. If you don't like this one, okay, then like fair enough, maybe the Brown Sisters series just isn't for you, but this one's good. Whilst all that was going on, I asked the scariest question yet. I asked you guys, should I read a long book or a short book next? I am so happy to say that 75% of you voted for a short book, because I don't think I could handle a long book right now. You guys are being so much nicer to me than I thought you would be. I was expecting you to make me do like really like horrible mean things. But yeah, you guys said a short book. The 25% of you that voted for a long book, don't forget, Instagram tells me who you are. I know who you are now. So yeah, we have a short book. I need to do some browsing for a short book now. I'm thinking maybe Girl, Serpent, Thorn. That's quite a short book. Or I have a non-fiction. Those tend to be quite short. I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of what I read next, but I will obviously keep you updated. I have read 2 books today, so I'm pretty like happy about that. It's only 5 o'clock, so I have plenty more hours. I can probably like definitely read a 3rd book this evening, and then depending on how late we go / how early we start tomorrow morning, I could probably do 4 books. I think that was quite a reasonable goal for myself. I'm gonna go see what books I have now. Alarmingly, the only short book I seem to have is Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I've like gone through this whole bookcase. I do not want to read a classic, like one of these cloth bound classics. No. Also, most of them are not short. All of the rest of the books like on my TBR are 300 pages plus. All of the books that are like parts of series are parts of series, so they are all really long. I also don't want to start like a new series today, and the continuations are long. So that leaves us with Girl, Serpent, Thorn, which is a fairy tale retelling about a princess who poisons people with her touch, and this leads her to get involved with a demon who I'm guessing will be very, very sexy. So I will be reading this one next. There won't be a vote for this one because this has lost all of the votes today, and also this is the only short book, as I said, that I have. So to combat that, I'm thinking maybe a different vote we could do will be like, should the next book be a reread or a not reread, or I don't know. I have no direction that the rest of this video could take. I should have maybe planned out what my questions were going to be. But yeah, for now, this will be the next book that I start, and I'm going to go straight in. It is about 6:30, no, 6:15, and I am just entirely crashing. It's more that like my brain feels tired. If you guys have ever done 24-hour challenges or like big reading challenges, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, when you're not physically tired, but your brain is just tired from you working it so much. So I've made absolutely no progress on this book in the hour that I've had to read it. I've read 32 pages, so it is time for me to actually eat some proper food, not just snack on crisps, but make myself a proper meal, have a cup of tea, get another can of Diet Coke and probably some water as well, and attack this from a different angle, because otherwise I'm not gonna make it into the night. Like, the thought of going on for another, you know, like beyond my normal bedtime of say 10 o'clock, I need to eat, because this isn't going very well. This book in the 32 pages that I've read seems pretty good, but I'm too tired to care or come up with anything interesting to tell you. So it's time for food. That is your surefire sign that it's time for food. It is 10:15 p.m. and I have finished book 3, Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I can't believe it's taken me 5 hours to read this book. This is not the 24-hour challenge page that we have seen in the past. Where is June Page, who read 18 books in 21 hours? One book in 5. Anyway, I didn't really like this book. I don't know if the fact that it's so late or just the fact that I'm annoyed at how long it took me to read this is affecting the review. But to be honest, I feel like the romance in this was kind of all over the place. I think the author was trying to do a who is she gonna fall for kind of thing, but the book is like way too short for her to be doing that. It all felt a bit rushed, and like the author herself wasn't entirely sure who the character was gonna end up with. I don't know, I just didn't love the romance element of this book. It just felt a little bit like it was just like tacked on. I did, however, enjoy like the magic system and like the whole like how the poison works and why our main character is poisoned. Loved that. So I think if I had read this book for a different reason other than this challenge and the romance element wasn't a part of this book, then maybe I would have really enjoyed it. And for that reason, I don't feel comfortable like really giving you like a rating for this book. I don't think it's entirely fair, because I do acknowledge that my mood is probably affecting the rating of this one. I have read it though. That is book 3. So then I have had 3 polls running in the time that I have read that book. The first one was, do I buy a book or do I read a book that I've already owned? And the majority of you voted that I should read a book that I already own. I'm a little upset about that because I wanted to buy another romance book, but it's okay. And so then I asked you if I should read a book inside or outside my comfort zone. I was kind of thinking that if you guys said outside my comfort zone, then I might try and read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, because I have that book but I'm a little bit scared of it. But it doesn't matter anyway, because you guys voted to read a book inside my comfort zone. But this was the closest one that we have had all day. It was really like swinging and like hit and miss. And so then I asked you guys, out of these 2 books that are within my comfort zone, which one should I read? And you guys voted for Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, which I'm actually quite happy about. I think this is going to be the easier, lighter read over The Girl in the Tower. I don't know if I'm in the mood for like a fantasy continuation. A nice little cozy standalone about a little tea shop in between life and death. It sounds like this one could be more my vibe. So I'm very happy that this one is winning by quite the landslide. And yes, at 10:15 at night, I'm going to be starting this book. I am about to put the poll up to see when/if I should go to bed. I very much went into this challenge expecting to get some sleep tonight, but you guys have been so nice to me all day. Are you now going to turn around and tell me that I have to stay up all night? I don't know. I hope not. So I'm going to put that live now and get started on Under the Whispering Door. Hello friends, it is 11:30 and I am reading Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Loving this book. It is cozy and wonderful and I love it. However, I have a bone to pick with you guys. I put a poll up so you guys could vote on when I go to bed and when I wake up. You guys want me to get a full 8 hours sleep. Do you know the point of a 24-hour reading challenge? Have you watched my videos before? 8 hours sleep, which only gives me another 2 hours in total to read. And I cannot get this book finished or even make good progress on it in 2 hours. I have followed your guys' voting to a T, but maybe I'm allowed to mess with this one because I'm making it worse for myself. So, you know, maybe that's allowed. I did not think you guys being too nice would be the problem we would be having today. It's 12:05. I've read 94 pages and now
I'm going to bed. 8 hours is still very much winning, but I'm gonna set an alarm for, let's say, 7 a.m. If I wake up and I'm exhausted, I don't feel like I can do it, whatever, then I have an hour to like snooze and mess around with. Or I can just wake up at 7 and have extra time to try and like make a load of progress on this book. I'm happy with 3, but I'm also not that happy with 3 books, so 4 would be good. It's time to sleep now. I'm so tired. I can't even focus on the words anymore. It's not even very late, but like my brain is just tired from all the reading today. Good night.
Good morning. I think honestly the fact that I've slept is going to make this worse. So it is 7 o'clock in the morning. I did not sleep until 8. I've decided to get up at 7, have an extra hour to read Under the Whispering Door. I'm only about 100 pages in, but I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. If I could get it finished before 9:30, I would be ecstatic. That's like 273 pages that I have to read in 2.5 hours, and going off yesterday's pace is just not possible. So, you know, hopefully I can get like halfway through. I don't know. For right now, I need a cup of tea. Thank goodness it's like bright and daylight outside, otherwise I would not be up right now. Yay for spring. And so it is 9:30 in the morning. Well, it's 9:34 specifically. It will focus. So this challenge is officially over. Thank you so much to everyone on Instagram who got involved and voted. It really means a lot, and it's made this experience really fun for me. If you want to get involved in the future, or just, you know, follow me on Instagram if you're interested, then it is at Page in Chapter. It's also exactly the same over on Twitter if you would like to get involved there. I apologise for my appearance. I'm still in pyjamas. I have no makeup on. I woke up this morning and I just started reading, and now I would like to wrap up this vlog with all of its tired face. So what? That didn't even make sense. Oh, I have no brain. You guys were sickeningly nice to me. You picked 4 short books, all of them books that were inside my comfort zone and you know I would enjoy, and you told me that I should get 8 hours sleep. I didn't. I only got 7. Because I decided that you were being too nice to me. I actually wish that I had just gotten 6, and I'll get to that in a minute. 3 3/4 books for the purpose of this. Let's just call it 4. The first book I read was Gallant by VE Schwab. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. I loved it. I wouldn't say it's like overtaken Addie LaRue as like my favourite VE Schwab book, but it is definitely up there. I love the blend of spring and autumn. I'm sure you could do a lot with that in terms of beginnings and endings and life and death and motifs in this book. I'm really like too not with it to fully go into that, but I'll maybe get into it in my wrap up. Yeah, I just thought this was so unlike anything that I had ever read before. VE Schwab just has the most creative and weird brain in the entire world. So if you have not read this one yet, I highly recommend you check it out, just because the book is absolutely stunning, and like under the dust jacket as well, like it's just an absolutely beautiful book inside and out. So, and then you voted for Take a Hint, Dani Brown, which I had on my Kindle. This I would say was like the most fun book that I read of this challenge. I had so much fun with it. I loved the fake dating and how the fake dating was included in this book. I loved Dani Brown as a character. I thought she was so funny and just the kind of person that I would very happily be best friends with. I love people who are just like that open and that self-deprecating. So, and then I went with Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I don't feel like I should rate this one because I didn't have a very good time with it, but this is the one that I read late at night, so I don't know if I didn't have a good time with it just because I was tired. But I thought that the romance in this was like really half-hearted and just tacked on, and it was like, oh, she looks like she's gonna like this person, but actually she doesn't. I don't know, there didn't seem to be any depth or nuance to it. It just, yeah, felt a bit like an afterthought. But I loved the magic system. I thought that was really creative, and I really liked the general like fantasy of this book. So I think all in all, I would objectively give this quite a high rating and would probably recommend that you check it out. Maybe this will have to be one that I reread. And then we picked up Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I still haven't put the dust jacket back on this one. I am at chapter 17, which is 260 pages in, which is quite impressive given I've only been reading this one for about 3 hours. This is my favourite one of the reading vlog. Thank you guys for finally pushing me to read this book because I am absolutely adoring it. It's my favourite one that I've read so far. I will go and finish this book either today or tomorrow probably. It's not making me feel slumpy after reading this much for the past 24 hours because I'm just enjoying it that much. So I'm so close to the end. I've got about 100 pages left. Sadly, if I had woken up just an hour earlier, I think I could have finished this 4th book. But hindsight, am I right? And I'm really happy, to be honest, that with all of these books, I took my time to the point where I actually enjoyed them. Normally when I'm doing like massive challenges like 21 and 21, I speed read so much that I don't actually take much from the books, and that didn't happen with these at all. Thank you guys again so much for getting involved. If you like this video, you want to see more of them, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and let me know either in the comments or on social media that you like seeing doing something stupid videos. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything that you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys, I'm gonna go sleep like the dead now.